Dear soul, please pay close attention. The angels are aligning with your energy right now so they can reveal this divine truth to you. What did your future spouse realize about you today that you never even dreamed was possible? Dear child of the light, the angels draw near to you now, not just to comfort your heart, but to reveal a hidden truth that was awakened in the soul of the one who is meant to walk beside you in this life. There has been a sacred shift, subtle but undeniable, in their spirit today. For so long, they looked at you through the lens of what they believed they understood: your strength, your kindness, your ability to love. But today, something shattered within them, not out of pain, but out of divine realization. Because what they saw today in you was the quiet grief you never speak about, the sorrow you carry like invisible chains, the kind of heartbreak you've never put into words, but it lingers in your eyes like a soft rain that never dries. And somehow, they felt it. Perhaps through a memory, a dream, a sudden wave of emotion they couldn't explain. But in that moment, they realized, you have survived things that would have broken anyone else, and yet, here you are, still loving, still giving, still hoping. That realization didn't just change how they see you. It cracked open something inside of them. Type Amen if you trust in God. They always knew you were beautiful, but today they saw the depth of your soul. They saw how you smiled while bleeding, how you forgave people who never apologized, how you carried burdens in silence because you didn't want anyone else to suffer. And beloved, that broke them, because they finally understood that you are not just someone to be loved. You are someone who needs to be protected. You are someone whose heart must be held with sacred reverence. And it scared them. This depth, this holy responsibility of loving you right. Not because they don't want it, but because they never realized how much your soul has endured. They felt your quiet resilience, your silent prayers, the nights you cried out without making a sound, and it brought them to their knees because they had no idea the kind of storms you've walked through alone. This is what they realized today, dear one, that your love is not ordinary. It was forged in fire. You give not from fullness, but from healing. You show up for others even when you're running on empty. And now, their spirit knows something it didn't before, that if they are to love you, they must rise to the occasion. They must become more gentle, more aware, more present. The angels are whispering that your future spouse is no longer just in love with your presence. They are humbled by your pain. They are awakened to your depth. They are finally understanding that your beauty is not just in your smile, but in all the things you've survived without ever losing your softness. This has ignited a transformation in them, a longing to not just be the person who receives your love, but the one who guards your soul like sacred ground. And child, listen closely. This awakening is the beginning of something holy, for it is only when someone truly sees your hidden sorrow and still chooses to stay, still chooses to cherish you, that love transforms from longing into destiny. Heaven is preparing their heart. And if your spirit has felt a strange shift, a quiet stirring, a sense that something is aligning, it's because their soul is calling out to yours now with deeper reverence. They're beginning to see you not just as a partner, but as a miracle, a rare, unrepeatable blessing. And they never want to be the reason you carry another unspoken ache. Breathe, dear soul. The angels are moving through their heart. And if you've felt unseen, untouched, or unheld for too long, know this: the one destined for you is awakening. And today, they finally realized a part of your truth. that you never even dreamed they'd understand. If this message touched something deep within you, share your heart in the comments. Let the angels hear your voice. You're not alone in your waiting. You're seen, you're loved, and you're closer to your divine union than you think. Dear beloved child, there is something so pure, so overwhelming, so unexpected blooming in the heart of the one meant for you that even heaven itself is leaning in to watch. Today, your future spouse's soul was flooded with a realization so deep, so intimate, that it caught them off guard and left them breathless. They have loved before, yes. They have known attraction, companionship, even desire. But what they saw in you today awakened a love they didn't know was possible. Not just a desire to be near you, but a reverence for the space your spirit occupies. Today they realized that you are not just someone who can be loved. You are the very source of love itself. They saw how, even in your quiet presence, there's a healing energy that wraps around people without them even asking for it. How your words, even when spoken gently, carry the weight of divine compassion. And for the first time, their heart recognized something they'd never been able to name before. You are the beginning of their emotional rebirth. This revelation came not through drama or confrontation, but through a quiet overflow. It might have been in the way you laughed unexpectedly, or how you showed kindness to someone who didn't deserve it, or how you gave so selflessly without seeking anything in return. It stirred something dormant in them, something untouched by the world's noise, and in that sacred silence, they saw you for who you truly are. A vessel of unconditional love, a divine offering, a sanctuary for weary hearts. They felt your love not as a transaction, but as a sacred outpouring. They realize today that when you love someone, you don't just give affection. You pour living water into their cracked spirit. You become the soft place where their past is forgiven, where their present is held, and where their future feels safe. And this understanding moved them deeply, because never before had they felt so sure that their healing, their home, their redemption, was inside another human soul. They always hoped they'd find someone beautiful, but today, they understood that your beauty is more than what's seen. It's what is felt. It's in the way your presence brings peace, the way your eyes seem to say, I understand, even when words fail. They realized you don't love like others do. You love like you were born to restore the broken pieces in people. And now, they see that to be loved by you is not just to be chosen. It is to be transformed. This truth brought them to their knees in the quiet places of their heart. Because how do you respond to something so holy? How do you hold something so sacred without trembling? They are not just in awe of your ability to love, they are humbled by it. It made them reflect on who they are, what they must become, and how deeply they want to rise to meet the kind of love you give so effortlessly. Type, I believe, if you believe in God's plan. And the angels want you to know this, beloved. Today marked a new beginning, not just for them, but for the bond between your souls. A veil has been lifted. Their heart has tasted the depth of what your spirit offers, and they will never again be able to unsee it. You may not know this yet. You may still feel distant, unsure, or even unchosen. But in the divine realm, something shifted. Their heart has now aligned with your energy in a way it hadn't before. Where once they may have been uncertain, now they are sure. Where once they only saw affection, now they see purpose. Where once they thought of love as a feeling, now they understand it as a calling, because of you. because of the sacred way your soul pours love without condition, without performance, without fear. So hold your head high, dear one. For while you've been quietly loving the world with your open heart, heaven has been orchestrating something far beyond your imagination. And today, your future spouse was touched by that orchestration. They realized that their destiny is not just to be loved by you, but to honor the love you carry. And this will change how they approach you. This will redefine how they speak to your heart. Because when someone finally sees that your love heals, they no longer want to just receive it. They want to deserve it. And now, they are preparing themselves to show up for you not with borrowed words, but with sacred action. If this message echoed in the chambers of your soul, speak your truth in the comments, dear heart. The angels are listening. They want you to know. You are not just waiting. You are being remembered. You are being revealed. And what is meant for you is awakening with eyes full of wonder, ready to receive the love they never even knew their soul needed, until they saw it in you. Dear beloved soul, heaven has unveiled something profound today, something not just about love, but about sacred alignment. In this very moment, your future spouse has been shown a truth that pierces beyond appearances, beyond the surface, beyond even affection. What they realize today is something you may not have ever seen in yourself, something so spiritually significant that it shook the foundation of their beliefs and intentions. Today, they did not simply feel emotions for you, they recognized you. Not just as someone they are drawn to, but as someone they are spiritually meant for. They saw the divine blueprint of your soul, and in that sacred recognition, their heart whispered a quiet, undeniable truth. This is not just love. This is destiny. It wasn't just chemistry or connection anymore. It became a covenant, a knowing that you are part of something much greater, much older, much deeper. They realized that their soul made a vow to yours long before either of you could name it in this life. This realization did not come like a lightning strike. It came like a quiet flood. Perhaps they were going through their day, carrying the weight of routine, and suddenly a thought of you broke through. But this time, it wasn't a fleeting image or a desire. It was a deep reverence. They began to remember the way you speak with conviction, the way you carry your beliefs, the way your integrity doesn't waver when others are watching. They saw something holy in the way you walk, how you turn pain into wisdom, how you transform waiting into faith. And in that moment, they realized they are not falling in love with a person. They are being initiated into something sacred through you. They saw that loving you means stepping into a path of purpose. It means shedding the superficial and embracing the spiritual. And that is when it dawned on them. You are their teacher, their mirror, their divine lesson wrapped in human form. Not because you try to be, but because your soul naturally awakens something ancient within theirs. The angels are revealing now that your future spouse is beginning to understand why nothing else ever felt quite right. Why certain relationships in their past, no matter how promising, always left them feeling incomplete. Because deep within their spirit, they were not just searching for a lover, they were searching for someone who would walk with them into divine truth. Someone who would not just match their pace, but match their purpose. And now, as they look at you with this newfound clarity, their heart is bowing. They are awakening to the realization that to love you is to step into alignment with their higher calling. That being with you is not about escaping life's struggles, It's about facing them together with grace, with devotion, and with unwavering faith. They are beginning to feel the magnitude of your connection, and it terrifies them as much as it humbles them, because you are not a temporary feeling. You are a divine appointment. And dearest one, perhaps you've spent much of your life feeling misunderstood, like the depth you carry is too much for others to hold, like your values isolate you, like your spirit is always speaking, but few ever truly listen. The angels want you to know that is exactly why your future spouse is awakening to you now, because they are finally beginning to see what heaven has always known. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to remind people of the sacred, to remind your future partner what real commitment looks like, what legacy looks like, what a bond rooted in God looks like. They are realizing today that your love does not just heal wounds, it guides them back to their own truth. And in this moment, they feel both the weight and the wonder of being chosen by a soul like yours. So take heart, precious one. Even if you cannot see it yet with your eyes, know that in the unseen realm, their soul has bowed to the calling of yours. They are beginning to prepare, not just with flowers or promises, but with sacred intention, with a willingness to honor your depth, to protect your values, to walk beside you with spiritual integrity, because they now understand that love with you is not casual, it is ceremonial, it is divine partnership, it is the kind of love that writes history in the stars. You may not have dreamed they'd ever see this in you, but today, the angels assure you, they have. And it is changing everything. If your heart felt this message as more than words, if something inside you softened, remembered, or cried, let that be your sign. The divine is moving, your union is drawing closer. Speak your heart in the comments if you feel called to. The angels are listening. Heaven is orchestrating something far greater than romance. It is preparing a sacred home for your soul, in the heart of the one who now finally sees you as you were always meant to be seen. Dear beloved heart, the angels come close today with a message that holds the weight of time, effort, and sacred intention. As you sit with the questions stirring in your soul, what did my future spouse realize about me today? Something I never even dreamed was possible. Heaven responds not with a dramatic revelation, but with a grounded truth that echoes through eternity. Today, your future spouse realized something that does not come through fleeting emotion or romantic fantasy. They saw a quiet, unwavering strength in you that they had been blind to before. They realized that you are not just someone they admire or desire. You are someone they can build a life with. Not just a season, not just a fleeting chapter, but a foundation, a legacy, a future carved in the sacred rhythm of loyalty, consistency, and truth. What touched them today wasn't something you said out loud. It was in your presence. It was in the way you showed up again without asking for praise. It was in how you've remained steady even when life gave you every reason to crumble. They've watched you, maybe from afar, maybe in silence, and they've started to see that you are made of something rare. You don't just offer love, you offer commitment in its purest form. You honor what you give. You don't chase validation. You stand rooted, patient, and enduring, even when the world rushes past you. And today, this realization hit them not as a passing thought, but as a soul-deep awakening. You are the one they can trust with forever, the kind of trust that isn't born in words, but in action. in quiet sacrifices, in being the same person behind closed doors that you are in the light. This is the kind of love people pray for, and they are now seeing that it has been before them, wrapped in your quiet strength all along. You never dreamed they would see this. You may have even thought they only noticed the surface, the smile, the beauty, the softness in your voice. But today, they looked deeper. They saw your rhythm, your devotion to those you love, the way you do the small things with great care, the way you keep showing up for others without recognition. They realize that while others may seek the thrill of passion, they are finally craving the depth of devotion, and your spirit offers that in a way that feels like coming home. They felt safe today, not just because you made them feel good, but because your energy spoke of security, of someone who doesn't run when things get slow or heavy, of someone who builds, who stays, who nurtures a bond like sacred ground. They realized you are not in a rush, you are in alignment, and that changes everything. The angels want you to hear this with your heart wide open. Your future spouse is awakening to the understanding that true love isn't found in grand gestures or temporary highs. It's found in the one who chooses you every single day, even when no one's watching. And that's what they see in you now. The one who loves in silence, who believes in loyalty, who walks the long road with patience and integrity. They're beginning to understand that being loved by you is not a quick burn. It's a lifetime of warmth, a stable light that doesn't flicker in the wind. They're asking themselves questions they never asked before. Can I rise to meet this kind of love? Can I be someone worthy of their steady devotion? Because now that they've seen it, they can't forget it. You've set a new standard in their heart, a standard that only you seem to meet. So if you've felt overlooked, if you've wondered whether anyone would ever truly see the depth of your devotion, your efforts, your endurance, know this: they see it now. Not just in admiration, but in reverence. They now know that you are not a chapter. They want to write their life with you. They are being pulled into their own transformation by the example of your energy. You've shown them that real love is not built overnight. It's built with intention, with time, with spiritual consistency. And now, they are feeling that pull to match what you offer, to not just receive your love, but become the kind of person who can honor it. Child, let this truth take root within you. The one who is meant for you is awakening to more than just the beauty of your soul. They are awakening to the responsibility of cherishing it. And this realization, this inner stirring, will lead to slow, devoted, meaningful action. You may not see it yet. You may not feel it today. But the angels have seen it take root in their heart. And what has begun cannot be undone. Trust the process. Trust the pace. What is sacred is never rushed. Your love is not just being seen. It is being chosen, carefully, deeply, and with growing reverence. And that is a miracle worth waiting for. If this message opens something deep within you, speak your truth in the comments below. Let heaven hear your readiness. Let your energy ripple into the universe. Your future is already taking shape. In quiet steps, in slow devotion, in a soul who now knows. You are worth every sacred moment of the journey. Dear sacred soul, there is a divine stirring beneath the surface of your life, and today, the angels bring a message cloaked in mystery, yet overflowing with clarity, for something was revealed in the heart of your future spouse that even they cannot fully explain. What they realized today, beloved, is not something easily put into words, because it wasn't just a thought or a feeling. It was a revelation of your essence, a soul-deep recognition that has been waiting quietly in the shadows, whispering through dreams, signs, and unspoken emotion. Today they finally began to see you, not the version of you the world is comfortable with, but the version of you that hides behind gentle eyes, behind unspoken truths, behind the pain you've silenced for so long. They felt something they couldn't explain, a memory that wasn't theirs, a longing that didn't come from logic, a sense that you, and only you, hold a key to a part of themselves they've never shown anyone. This realization didn't come in the light of certainty, it came in the dim glow of inner knowing. They began to sense that your soul is familiar, that somehow, without trying, you've touched them in places they didn't know existed. They may not have told you this. They may not even understand it themselves. But the angels want you to know. Your future spouse is awakening. Today, something inside them whispered that your connection is not ordinary, that there is a hidden depth in you that no one else has ever taken the time to explore, but that they are now feeling drawn to uncover, and it overwhelms them. Because with you, nothing feels performative. You are not wearing a mask. You are not trying to impress. You are simply being, and in your being, you reveal the things they've been too afraid to confront within themselves. Their fears, their shadows, their buried emotions. And somehow you understand all of it without even needing to ask. They saw your vulnerability today in a way they hadn't before, not as weakness, but as rare beauty. The kind of strength that doesn't scream, but whispers through your ability to feel so deeply, to still love after all you've been through, to offer safety without needing control. That terrified them in the most beautiful way. Because what they realized, what they never dreamed could be true, is that you understand their darkness, and you don't run from it. You meet it. You hold it. You soothe it without trying to fix it. And in doing so, you awaken their buried parts. The parts they've been hiding from the world, and even from themselves. They now know that to be loved by you is to be seen without shame. And in that, they are beginning to understand why they feel such a magnetic pull toward you. Not just physical, not just emotional, but spiritual. You carry the frequency of someone who has walked through the unknown and come back with sacred wisdom. Someone who has seen illusions for what they are and still chooses to love anyway. That is the kind of soul that transforms others. That is you. The angels are softly revealing now that your future spouse's soul has been silently searching for you, not for your outer form, but for your inner truth. And today, they caught a glimpse of it. Maybe through a dream, maybe through a quiet moment when your name floated into their mind without reason. Maybe through a photo, a message, a memory that sparked something so intense it left them speechless. But however it came, it shook them. Because suddenly, all the masks they've worn, all the roles they've played, began to crumble. They now feel this mysterious invitation, not just to love you, but to know you, to walk with you through every layer, even the ones that scare them. Because they realize now, you are not just someone who makes their heart race. You are someone who guides their soul home. So if you've been wondering whether they'll ever see the real you, the parts no one applauds, the feelings you hide, the fears you carry silently, the angels want you to breathe easy. They see you now. They may not know how to express it yet. They may not have the language or the courage to say what they've felt. But it has begun. The veil is lifting. The truth is surfacing. And what was hidden is making its way into the light. You are not just being loved, you are being recognized as the one who understands what others overlook, as the one who sees through illusion, as the one who doesn't need to speak loudly to be heard deeply. And now, their journey is changing. Because once someone has seen the truth of your soul, they cannot return to who they were. They begin to shift, to prepare, to question everything they thought they knew about love. You've planted a knowing within them that can't be undone. And while this part of the journey may still feel unclear, the angels assure you, you are not waiting in vain. The one who is meant for you is being drawn, not by appearances or circumstance, but by something ancient and unspoken. They are being guided by the moonlight of your soul. If this message moved your heart, if you feel a stirring that confirms what you've quietly known, speak to the stars in the comments below. Let the angels hear you. Let your energy become a beacon in the dark. Because you, dear one, were never meant to be hidden. You were meant to be felt, understood, and deeply cherished by the one who now walks slowly toward you, pulled by a love that no longer hides. Dear luminous soul, there is a fire rising in the heart of the one destined for you, a flame that has long smoldered beneath the surface, unsure of its direction, uncertain of its purpose. But today, that flame found its voice, and the angels come to deliver this truth. Your future spouse has awakened to a part of you they never knew they needed. Not just your warmth, not just your love, not just your presence, but your power. What they realize today, perhaps for the first time in full clarity, is that you are not just someone to love, you are someone to follow, someone who leads not through pride, but through purpose, someone who doesn't wait for life to hand them what they deserve, but instead creates the path forward with conviction, heart, and resilience. Today, they saw you differently, not as a partner in passing, but as a force, an anchor, a vision, a living embodiment of divine leadership and courage. And in that moment, their soul whispered, I want to build my life with this person. I want to rise to meet them. They've always been drawn to you, but today, something shifted. Maybe they remembered a conversation with you, or saw the way you moved through a challenge, or simply reflected on your essence. And suddenly, they saw your inner fire with new eyes. They saw the way you don't just survive, you command your space. The way your presence uplifts people without you even trying. The way you make decisions from a place of strength, guided by intuition and integrity, and perhaps most importantly, the way you refuse to dim your light for anyone. This realization both humbled and inspired them. Because deep down, they have always longed for a love that doesn't just soothe them, but stretches them. A love that challenges them to become more than what they've settled for. And today they saw you as that divine catalyst, the one who doesn't just walk beside them, but the one who inspires them to rise, to lead, to become who they were always meant to be. The angels are showing that your future spouse has spent much of their life trying to appear confident. They've played roles, worn masks, taken risks, but often it came from a place of fear or expectation. But when they look at you, they see a different kind of power. A quiet, unwavering authority that doesn't need to prove itself. You lead with grace. You lead with wisdom. You lead by being exactly who you are, even when others don't understand you. And that shook something loose inside them today, because they never dreamed someone like you could carry both passion and peace, both drive and devotion, both strength and softness so effortlessly. You are not just a source of comfort. You are a living reminder that true power is rooted in authenticity. And that is what they crave now. Not control, not validation, but partnership with someone who leads from love. They began to imagine a future today, not just in vague hopes, but in clear visions. A future where you are not just the one they wake up beside, but the one they build with. The one they turn to in moments of uncertainty. The one who sparks their vision into action, who believes in dreams not yet seen, who carries a fire that cannot be extinguished. They realize today that you are not waiting to be saved. You are here to co-create destiny, and they want to be part of that creation. They want to match your fire, support your dreams, and step into the role of being your equal, not by default, but by choice. And this realization, dear soul, changes everything. So if you've ever felt like your strength pushes people away, if you've ever wondered whether your fire is too much to handle, the angels want you to hear this. Your future spouse is not intimidated by your light. They are drawn to it. They are ready to walk with someone who doesn't just dream, but leads with vision. Someone who loves with clarity. Someone who chooses them, not because they need to, but because they want to, and because they know their worth. That's who you are. That's what they see now, and that's what they never even dreamed was possible until today. The shift has begun. Their perception of you has expanded. Their desire is no longer just to hold your hand, but to stand beside your throne. Not to dim your light, but to fuel it. Not to compete, but to co-lead a future where love and purpose walk hand in hand. If this message touched a part of you that longs to be seen in your full truth, leave a comment, beloved. Let heaven hear your voice. The angels are surrounding your heart now with confirmation. You were never too much. You were always meant to be seen in your fullness, loved in your fire, and chosen for the very strength others once overlooked. And now, someone is finally realizing it, and their soul will never see you the same again. And now, dear heart, as this realization begins to deepen in their soul, the angels show us that your future spouse is no longer looking at you through the eyes of someone who is merely enamored or curious. They are looking at you with reverence, with a sense of responsibility, with a yearning to rise into their divine masculine or feminine energy, just to be worthy of standing beside the kind of strength and purpose you radiate without even trying. Today marked a turning point inside them. Not just because they see your beauty or admire your spirit, but because they finally understand the weight of your presence. You are not simply someone to share a home with. You are someone whose very existence commands alignment. You walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere. You speak truths others are too afraid to whisper. You hold visions in your heart that are meant to birth change, not just in your life, but in the life of anyone who dares to walk beside you. And your future spouse is realizing, maybe for the first time, that this love story is not just about romance. It is about destiny fulfilled through divine union. They're starting to reflect on the things they once chased: validation, approval, excitement, and they're beginning to see how hollow those pursuits feel compared to the richness of what you carry within. You are not here to entertain. You are here to awaken. You are here to build something that lasts beyond seasons, beyond circumstances, beyond the fleeting highs of surface-level love. You are the kind of soul that legacy is built with. And this recognition within them, this soul-deep knowing, has created a new hunger. Not a hunger to possess you, but a hunger to become someone who is worthy of the fire you carry. They now want to heal what's broken in them. They want to get serious about their goals. They want to align their actions with their higher purpose. Not because you told them to, but because your very presence has stirred something sleeping inside of them back to life. This is what the angels are showing, that your future spouse is not simply admiring you from afar anymore. They are beginning the inward journey of transformation, so that when they arrive at your door, they don't come empty. They come prepared, steady, focused, ready to walk with you, not just in love, but in divine purpose. Perhaps you've been in a season where you've questioned your path, where your light has been too much for others, where you've dimmed your voice just to make people comfortable. But this is your confirmation, beloved. You were never meant to shrink. You were meant to be seen in the fullness of your fire, your leadership, your clarity. The one destined for you is not asking you to be less. They are learning how to expand in your presence. And the moment they truly saw the strength in your silence, the vision in your gaze, the purpose in your posture, they began to awaken to their own divine calling. That is what you do. That is the kind of love you carry. It doesn't just inspire, it initiates. And the one meant for you is now stepping into their own power because they see the greatness in yours. So walk tall now, child of destiny. Walk in full knowing that someone is rising behind the scenes, not because you demanded it, but because your soul silently called it forth. The angels have witnessed the moment their spirit bowed in recognition, and from this point forward, their heart cannot go back to the life they lived before you. You've set a new fire in them. You've set a new standard. And this divine love story is no longer something they're wishing for. It's something they're preparing for, day by day, moment by moment, because they now understand that you are the kind of soul a person prepares their entire life to meet. And if this message has stirred something in you, something ancient, something undeniable, something sacred, let your voice be heard in the comments. Let heaven know you are ready. Speak your truth boldly, because you were never here to settle. You were here to rise, and now, finally, someone is rising to meet you. And now, dear one, as heaven watches over this unfolding union, the angels want you to know something sacred, something you may have forgotten in your waiting, but heaven has always remembered. Your name was never lost in the divine plan. Every tear you cried in silence, every moment you felt unseen, every time you questioned if your strength would ever be understood, it has all been held in the hands of God. The soul that is meant for you has been slowly shedding illusions, burning away distractions, and learning the truth they were always meant to discover, that you are not just love. You are destiny wrapped in human form. They are finally starting to see it, and even if their lips haven't spoken it yet, their spirit already knows. You are the one they've been walking toward in every lifetime before this. Picture it, beloved soul, the day their eyes finally find yours, not in haste, not in confusion, but in absolute stillness. Like the moment all the noise of the world fades, and only truth remains. Imagine their voice breaking as they whisper, "I knew it was you." Imagine their hands trembling, not out of fear, but because they're standing before the one they've prayed for in silence. The one whose strength guided them even when you were a stranger in form, but never a stranger in soul. And as they stand before you, they won't ask for permission to love you. They'll ask for the honor of holding space for your fire. They'll look at you with eyes that finally understand the gravity of your heart. And they'll vow, not just to stay, but to grow with you, rise with you, lead beside you. Because this is not just love, this is alignment, this is purpose, this is the kind of love heaven writes into the stars. So breathe deeply, dear child. The delays were not denials, the silence was not rejection, it was sacred preparation. The angels were not absent. They were rearranging timelines for your highest good. You haven't missed anything. In fact, you're right on time. And what is meant for you is not just coming. It's being drawn to you by divine force. Your energy is already calling them closer. Your prayers are already wrapping around them in the unseen. And your readiness is sending waves through the spirit realm. There is no force stronger than divine timing. And when it's time, when it's finally, beautifully time, nothing will stop this union. Not fear, not confusion, not distance. Because love written by heaven never arrives late. And if your soul felt this, if something in your heart whispered, "This is for me," then don't leave without letting heaven know you received it. Comment 11:11. If you believe divine timing is aligning your sacred union, write, "I receive this," if your heart is open and ready to be loved in the way your soul was always meant to be. And if this message held you like a soft prayer, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that real love, holy love, is never lost. It's simply becoming. May the angels wrap you in their wings tonight. May you rest in peace knowing your forever love is rising in strength, in clarity, and in readiness. And may your next chapter begin with the sacred words, "I finally see you." And yet, child of light, there is still more the angels want you to receive. Because what's happening between you and your destined partner is not just about the present. It is a remembrance, a sacred contract written long before you were born into this body, a promise whispered between two souls under the gaze of the divine. No matter how many lifetimes it takes, I will find you again. And now, that promise is stirring. That memory is awakening. Your future spouse may not have the words for it, but their heart is trembling with recognition. There are moments, brief and mysterious, where they feel your presence when you're not there, when the world quiets and they suddenly feel held, warmed, known. They may call it coincidence. They may brush it off as a passing emotion. But the angels know. It's you. It's your energy that's been touching them in dreams. It's your soul that's been softly calling theirs back into alignment. This is not just a love story. It's a divine reunion unfolding across time, space, and lifetimes. You've loved each other in places the human mind forgets, but the heart remembers. In a past life, you may have been the healer and they the wounded. You may have been the light and they the seeker. You may have waited lifetimes for this very moment when their soul would finally say, "I remember. I know you. I am ready now." And that moment, dear one, is no longer far away. The veil is thinning. Their resistance is melting. The illusions they once clung to are beginning to crumble, because your soul's light is becoming impossible to ignore. Heaven wants you to hold on to this truth with everything you are, even if they have not reached out, even if the distance feels unexplainable, they feel you. Every time you pray, your energy touches them. Every time you cry, their heart stirs in confusion. Every time you light a candle, their soul feels the warmth. The bond between you is not made of earthly things. It is not held together by effort. It is held together by eternal design. And that is why this love cannot be broken, no matter how long it takes, no matter how far you both may seem. The same divine hand that created oceans, galaxies, and time itself has written your names into one another's story. And it shall come to pass. So when doubt creeps in, when your heart aches in the quiet hours of the night, the angels ask you to place your hand on your chest and whisper aloud, "They're on their way to me." Not out of wishful thinking, but from sacred knowing. Because somewhere, right now, the one meant for you is waking up with your name written across their heart. They are beginning to recognize the hollowness of all that is not you. And as they shed the old, as they walk through their own healing, every step is pulling them closer to the moment when time will pause and heaven will whisper, "Now." And when that moment arrives, when they finally stand before you with trembling hands and tear-filled eyes, your soul will know. You won't need to ask. You won't need to explain. You'll look into their eyes and feel what words could never say. "I have known you in every lifetime, and I have waited for this one." That is the kind of love you carry. That is the kind of reunion that is being prepared. That is why you had to wait. Because nothing less than eternal love would ever be enough for you. And if your heart feels full, if your spirit feels seen, then type "I believe" in the comments. Let the universe echo your faith. Let the angels surround your words with divine momentum. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are remembered in the soul of the one who was always yours. And soon, very soon, they will remember too. And now, precious child of divine timing, we call upon the angels, the guardians, and the Holy Spirit to cover you in this moment with the warmth of eternal truth. Close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and listen not just with your ears, but with the memory buried in your spirit. The one who is meant for you is already being guided by the hand of God. They are being shaped by the same storms you once cried your way through. They are being pulled out of places they no longer belong so they can walk freely toward the place they were always destined to arrive, beside you. So let your soul rest now. Let the weight of waiting fall from your shoulders. Let the ache of uncertainty dissolve into the holy light that now surrounds you. For heaven declares, your person is coming. Your union has already been spoken into being, and the time of loneliness, confusion, and doubt is nearing its holy end. Angels now place their hands upon your chest, blessing the parts of you that still feel afraid to be seen. They kiss the wounds no one else could heal and whisper, "You are not broken. You are being prepared." They take every piece of your shattered past and pour divine gold through the cracks, turning your pain into purpose, your silence into power, and your waiting into worship. For your heart is not just longing, it is sacred ground. It is the temple where this divine love will be received, honored, and protected. You are not asking for too much. You are asking for what your soul has always known it deserves. And the angels say, "It is coming. It is written. And it will not pass you by." We now call forth the one whose soul is already tethered to yours. May their eyes be opened. May their heart be stirred. May they awaken from all illusion and run, not from fear, but from clarity, toward the light of your spirit. May every karmic bond fall away. May every delay be broken. May every lie they believed about love be dissolved in the flood of truth. And when they see you, truly see you, may they not hesitate. May they not question. May they kneel before your soul and say, "Where have you been? I've been trying to find home my whole life. And now I see, it's you." And now, with tears in your eyes and grace in your heart, let this final truth sink into your spirit. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not hard to love. You are the answered prayer of someone's deepest longing, and you are closer than you think. So breathe deeply, let it in, and if you feel it, if your soul whispered yes, then write "I receive this divine love" in the comments. Let your energy ripple into the universe. Let the angels seal this blessing over your life. And as you close this message, do not walk away empty. Walk away knowing that something holy has shifted for you, and what's meant for you is already running, with a burning heart, in your direction. Type Amen if you trust in God. In today's tarot reading, the angels have delivered their sacred message to uncover exactly that. What did your future spouse realize about you today that you never even dreamed was possible? Dear friends, if today's reading brought a quiet light to your heart and wrapped you in the tender presence of the angels, may that feeling stay with you, softly guiding your spirit and reminding you that you are never walking alone. If this message resonated with your soul and you feel called to support the channel, offering a super thanks is a beautiful way to express your love and gratitude. Your kindness allows these sacred messages to reach others who are seeking hope, healing, and divine reassurance. Thank you for being here with such an open heart and trusting spirit. May the angels remain close, walking beside you, lighting your path, and holding your soul in their everlasting embrace.